Hello everyone. Welcome back to the World Conflict Monitor channel. Please subscribe my channel. The story of the Russian Antonov An-24 plane crash is one that blends tragedy, aviation history, and lessons for the future. To begin with the summary, this aircraft, once considered a reliable workhorse of Soviet aviation, became the center of a devastating accident that shocked not only Russia but the entire world of aviation. The crash highlighted both the enduring strengths and the weaknesses of older aircraft models, and it raised many questions about maintenance, safety standards, and the risks of continuing to operate aging fleets. This summary is important because it frames what we are about to explore. Not only the incident itself, but the airplane's design, its performance in the skies, its unique selling points during its decades of service, and finally why such an aircraft could both serve loyally for decades and still end in disaster. The Antonov An-24 has always been recognized as one of the most iconic Soviet-era turboprop aircraft, designed to connect remote regions, short airfields, and difficult terrain across Russia and other countries of the former Soviet Union. In exterior appearance, the An-24 is both rugged and utilitarian. It is built with high-mounted wings, providing stability and safety even when operating on unpaved or rough runways. The fuselage is narrow but strong, with an unmistakable Soviet design philosophy that prioritizes durability over luxury. The engines are mounted under the wings, giving it a balanced profile. From the outside, the aircraft looks less like a commercial plane designed for comfort and more like a transport machine engineered for reliability. Its landing gear is designed to withstand repeated use in harsh climates and environments, including Siberian snowfields and Central Asian deserts. That is part of why the An-24 was once such a celebrated aircraft. Inside, however, the Antonov An-24 is far simpler and less appealing compared to modern passenger jets. The interior was designed with practicality in mind. The seats are narrow, the aisle is small, and the fittings are functional rather than stylish. Comfort is limited, but it served its purpose by transporting passengers efficiently. The cockpit, likewise, is straightforward, built for trained Soviet-era pilots with analog instruments dominating the dashboard. The interior space was never about luxury, it was about maximizing the number of passengers and ensuring that the aircraft could operate under a wide range of conditions. When it comes to performance, the Antonov An-24 was impressive in its time. Introduced in the late 1950s and entering service in the early 1960s, it was powered by Aviation Ai-24 turboprop engines. These engines allowed it to achieve cruising speeds of around 450 to 500 km per hour and a range of up to 2,400 km, depending on load and configuration. This made it ideal for domestic flights across the Soviet Union, connecting smaller towns with larger cities. Its ability to take off and land on short and rough runways gave it an edge over many Western aircraft of the same era. The An-24 could carry around 44 passengers, and in some configurations, slightly more. Its maximum takeoff weight exceeded 21,000 kilograms, which was impressive for its size. Even though it was noisy and less fuel efficient by modern standards, its ruggedness meant that it continued flying long after Western equivalents had been retired. The An-24's safety features reflected its Soviet-era engineering. It was designed to tolerate extreme weather, including icy conditions, snow, and high winds. The high-mounted wings provided greater ground clearance, reducing the risk of debris striking the engines during takeoff and landing. The robust landing gear allowed repeated operations on gravel and dirt airstrips, which was essential in regions without proper infrastructure. Safety, however, was defined differently in that era. While structurally tough, the plane lacked many of the advanced avionics, warning systems, and redundancy technologies we see in today's airliners. Over the decades, as technology advanced, the An-24 began to show its age, and accidents became more frequent, often tied to maintenance issues, outdated systems, or pilot error under difficult conditions. The unique selling points of the Antonov An-24 were its ruggedness, versatility, and adaptability. This was not an aircraft designed for luxury international flights, but for serving as a lifeline to remote communities. It could carry passengers, cargo, or even be adapted for military and humanitarian missions. In fact, Many developing countries and regions with poor infrastructure relied heavily on the An-24 to bring supplies, aid, and connectivity. Its ability to keep flying in extreme conditions, from Arctic cold to desert heat, was unmatched. That is why, even today, decades after its introduction, some An-24 aircraft are still in service around the world, though many have been retired after crashes and safety concerns. When it comes to price, the An-24 was relatively affordable compared to Western aircraft. Produced in the Soviet Union in large numbers, with over 1,000 units built, it benefited from economies of scale and government subsidies. For domestic airlines and even foreign operators in allied nations, the cost of acquiring and maintaining an An-24 was significantly lower than buying a Western-made aircraft of similar size. This affordability, combined with durability, made it attractive to countries across Africa, Asia, and Eastern Europe. In conclusion, the Antonov An-24 crash is not just the story of one tragic event, but the culmination of decades of service, design philosophy, and the challenges of operating older aircraft in modern times. The exterior tells the story of rugged strength, the interior reminds us of its utilitarian purpose, the performance shows its once cutting-edge capabilities, and the safety features highlight how it was built to endure difficult conditions. Its unique selling points made it one of the most widely used regional aircraft of its time, and its affordability ensured widespread adoption. Yet the tragedy of crashes like this one reminds us that even the strongest designs have limits, especially when decades of wear and technological gaps are considered. The An-24 stands as both a proud achievement of Soviet engineering and a cautionary tale for the aviation industry today.